that he was misunderstood in his day.
Very much so. Still misunderstood to this day.
And the Bible, I'm thinking, isn't an accurate translation of what he was trying to
Not
teach
always,
us and tell us.
No. Much of what, in that sense, that individual was teaching is very similar to what you are now understanding in what you call your metaphysical age. The idea is that simply people back then couldn't understand it. But to put it in a more fundamental sense, Yeshua, or as you say, Jesus, really did not intend in any way, shape, or form to create followers. Intended to create leaders, equals. Did not intend to create Christians per se, intended to let you all know you are Christ's. That's the greatest misunderstanding of the information. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So much of what you're understanding today is the idea that that individual was teaching. Even down to the concept of how powerfully your beliefs create your reality, yes?
Yeah.
Because did not, in that sense, at least to some degree, the Bible quote him as saying, it is your belief, it is your faith that has made the difference? Yes? And did it not also say that when Yeshua even went back to his hometown, because people there only knew him as a carpenter and did not believe in the things that other people said he could do none of those things in his hometown. And the Bible says so very clearly. You understand?
Yes.
It's all about the idea of your belief system. It's all about the idea of what you know to be true. It's all about your actions, all about your alignment. This is all that individual was saying, and that's what he meant when he said, I am the way. He meant, be this way. I'm the example. I'm the way. Be like me.
The story of Adam, Eve, and Lilith.
Yes.
I was wondering if maybe you can shed some light on that. And did these people actually exist?
Well, in a manner of speaking, yes, although the story, you know, in a sense, has been rendered into something simplified as a tale, as a metaphor. The idea of, in the ancient language of the Anunnaki, that injected their genetics into Homo erectus to create Homo sapien, is that the male version of Homo sapien they created in their language is Adama. The female version is Eva, which you have transliterated into Adam and Eve over time. So the idea is that, of course, there was a first male and a first female, but the idea has been truncated, collapsed, condensed into the metaphorical story that you know in your Bible. Lilith represents again the idea of the continuation of the line of Homo sapien in the genetic alterations by the Anunnaki, and represents kind of the concept of independence, the ultimate independence of the human race, and the balance point that needed to be achieved when it was recognized that Homo sapien had been created, and offered the third alternative. As always, we talk about the idea that there is a trinity in existence, not just a duality. So the concept of Lilith and the feminine principle in balance, the masculine and feminine principle in balance in Lilith, creates the midpoint, the third reality, the balance point in the Trinity between the two dualities of male and female.
And why is it that Lilith, it seems to be that she was taken out of the modern version of what we learn?
Because as a patriarch, he grew and wanted to reinforce the idea of male dominance, the concept of the balance point of male and female in one body was anathema to them. And they sought to remove it so that they would retain control and empowerment over others and over the female side.
Okay, and that's interesting. And was this all done in a laboratory in Temple Mount, at Temple Mount?
There were many different labs around your planet, but the primary one was in the Middle East. The idea, again, is that, remember, this wasn't all done all at once. This took some time. So the idea of this story is quite condensed, and it condenses many, many decades, even hundreds of years of time in the creation of Homo sapien.
The Garden of Eden, can you shed some light on what that was and maybe where it was?
Well, again, in the Middle East, as given, between what you call the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in the Fertile Crescent being the primary contact point and laboratory and civilization that the Anunnaki established when they came to Earth and spread out from there.
Okay. And the serpent that came to Eve, who or what was this?
This is simply an indication of the awakening of the genetic markers that would allow the female to be closer to the concept of the original Anunnaki genetic structure. This is why you have the double intertwined serpents on your medical caduceus still today as an indication of the genetics laboratories and the genetics that were injected into Homo erectus to create Homo sapien, being that in the feminine side there was an alteration that allowed the feminine side to become a little bit more aware of the situation than the masculine side and a little bit closer in expression to the original Anunnaki genetic strain.
That's interesting.
It also represents, therefore, the idea of ancient knowledge, that in a sense, because of the genetic alterations in the feminine form, there was more capability of accessing the knowledge of the Anunnaki.
In the Bible, in the Hebrew Bible, the Anunnaki, is that translated into Elohim?
For the most part, yes. Although the Elohim can also be other beings that were encountered from time to time, but in general, it's a reference to the ancient Anus, yes.
The story of Exodus.
Yes, yes.
Did the Jews know that were they aware that it was aliens that were taking them out of Egypt? Or
not as such. They didn't really comprehend the concept of aliens in the same way that you do today. They understood that the beings were from a higher dimensional realm, but the idea to them at that time, in their understanding, is what they ultimately decided was beings from heaven, beings from above.
Why did they save the Jews from Egypt, but they didn't protect them or save them in World War II from the Holocaust?
It was important to allow certain genetics from the Anunnaki line to survive up to a certain point. But beyond that, once there was dominion of the humans of the earth to make their own decisions, their decisions could not be intervened or interfered with beyond a certain point.
The Star of David, where did that come about, and why is it the symbol of the Jews?
It is the symbol of the relationship between those beings and those people, and in general between the above and the below. It is the intersection of the higher dimensions with the lower physical reality. It is a flattened form of the Merkaba.
I would really like to know what the interaction was like between Moses and the ETs at the top of Mount Sinai.
Some of it was physiological, some of it was telepathic. He was invited into a craft. Many things he was made to forget, but some things he was allowed to remember, as according to what was necessary for the proper approach and interactions and relationship between those beings and the people at that time so that they could be guided.
You mentioned that the tablets with the Ten Commandments,
Yes.
they were of crystalline form.
Yes.
And
But they weren't commandments.
Can you expand more on some of those commandments or the
They have been
laws?
misinterpreted over time. For example, you say in your literature now that the first commandment is, I am the Lord your God, thou shalt not have false gods before me. The original text is, I am all that is, anything that you represent me by is also me, therefore there can be no false gods. See the difference?
Can you give us a few more? Please.
the idea again of keeping the Sabbath holy is the idea again of understanding the state of being, of grace, that you naturally give off when you are in your truth and in alignment. Yes? And it's not just for a single day necessarily, but it was at the time considered the idea of take some time in a cyclic way to always go back into that state and remember who you are and then proceed from there. So it just became a weekly thing over time.
And what was the light on Mount Sinai and the burning bush?
Some of the extraterrestrials that Moses interacted with were the idea of the Anunnaki attempting to correct what the original group of Anunnaki caused by the creation of Homo sapiens on your planet, and attempted to guide and preserve certain genetic lines that would allow for the eventual evolution of the Earth into the sixth hybrid race. Some were not Anunnaki. We have been asked this question before, and we are not allowed to discuss that race. The idea of the light is simply the light from a craft, the energy from a craft landing on the mountain that interacted with Moses. The idea of the burning bush, again, a holographic projection of energy that was interpreted as fire. Similar in many ways to what people on your planet have been experiencing today as orbs of energy, orbs of light. So interpreted in an old-fashioned way, because that was all that was understood. Energy at the time was not understood in the way you understand it now scientifically. Therefore, it was perceived as a fire, when all it was basically an orb of glowing energy to represent a communication modality, a probe that would allow for communication to occur between the extraterrestrials and the individual experiencing the idea of the burning of the orb.
The story of Noah's Ark.
In a sense, it did happen, but it's not limited to the one story that's in the Bible, and there are some things that are a little bit different than what was related. But it basically talks about the flood. It talks about the time when an asteroid struck the Atlantic Ocean, wiped out Atlantis, and caused massive change and tsunamis in different places in North, South, Central America, in Europe, in Africa, in the Mediterranean. Many different people traveled on different kinds of boats and vehicles to save themselves and perpetuate some of their culture. That is the story of Noah's Ark. But if you actually examine many different cultures around your world, you'll find they all have similar stories, except for the South Sea Islanders who live in the Pacific, who didn't experience that because the asteroid fell in the Atlantic. So there are different Noah's Ark stories by different names in various cultures in the North, Central, South Americas, in Europe, in Africa, the Mediterranean, and so on and so forth. They all represent a general reality, a general truth of a massive flood catastrophe from an asteroidal or cometary strike.
It's very interesting.
Yes, it is.
And these people that build the boats, who warned them? Who told them to build the boats?
Well, some of their own people may have, because again, remember that throughout your civilization, there have always been intuitives. There have always been mediums and channels and people who could converse with beings on other levels, and sometimes they might receive such information from extraterrestrial sources who might say, hey, there's a big rock on the way. You better get ready. So it can be many different sources for different cultures.
I'm left with a distinct impression that virtually all angels described as light beings that came from the sky and the stars in most religious doctrines are actually highly advanced aliens from other civilizations that have visited Earth. Is that correct?
Not all, but most. Extra-dimensionals, extraterrestrials, beings of higher frequency, but sometimes spirit beings as well that can manifest themselves to appear as if they are physical when they may not be. So it's a variety of things. Yes.
Good day, Bashar.
And you good day.
So with the recent movements toward disclosure, that is going to happen either way, probably, right?
It will to some degree, but remember that at a certain point, depending upon how the winds change, it may have more or less of a challenge in doing so. So don't rely on that. Rely on yourself.
Okay.
Support the idea of those who are coming out and disclosing what they know. By all means, actively support it in some way, shape, or form. Help them dispense the information to the public. Support them how you can. But at the same time, that is not an alternative to what we said. Mm-hmm. They cannot do it alone.
Okay, so we do want disclosure even if our political system doesn't change, or...
That's up to you, isn't it? You decide what world you prefer. You can choose a world without disclosure. It's up to you. Do you prefer disclosure? Do
Yeah.
you prefer open contact?
Yes, I prefer it.
Then actions taken in that direction and in any direction that would remove any particular challenges or roadblocks to it being a path of least resistance will be something that you can take action on, yes?
Yes.
So then, is that not something relatively obvious?
Yes.
All right. And so?
I would like to take this opportunity to ask you what your perspective is of your relationship with beings, Sasani beings that I've been interacting with through as channeled entities. Bori, Ryok, and Shikoi. Can you make any connectional links to what your relationship is to those beings?
Shikoi is something that is primarily focused on connections to the natural world. Do you understand?
Yes.
Nature. That is the vibration that that being prefers to discuss. The others have to do with hybridization agendas and the evolution of your planet transforming into the sixth hybrid race. Okay. Is that what you mean by our relationship?
So you're working with them as well?
Not directly.
Earth. Okay.
Not directly, but we all work together in a variety of ways according to our own preferences and our own passions. It all goes toward the idea of sharing information that can allow you and other civilizations to adopt different perspectives that can allow you to live a more positive and constructive and powerful life. So no matter in what way different members of my society may choose to interact with different members of your society or other societies among the stars, it is all generally for the purpose of connecting as family and expanding our collective consciousness. Yes?
Yes. Okay.
And so, does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Of course. Anything else?
Yes. I was wondering if there would be any benefit for you to open the channel's eyes and have that be how you are being channeled instead of having them closed?
Not at this time, because the process of transformation for the channel is that when his eyes are open, he will be channeling his own higher mind.
Okay, thank you for explaining that.
Yes, this is why he is, bit by bit, learning to become a public speaker in his own right as well.
Oh.
Now that he understands many of the principles, he can talk relatively eloquently on them himself without necessarily needing us to guide him at this time. Therefore, this is part of his transition so that he feels more of a difference between us.
I see. I am going to be 42 years old soon.
Oh, what a baby, what a child.
Mm-hmm. And I know there's a version of you that's also 42. And I was wondering if you could give me a fraction of the amount of perspectives that you experienced at age 42 over or under the amount of perspectives I have experienced in my version of being age 42.
In my experience of 42, as you say, of course, our years being different than yours. So do you mean in your years or our years?
Just how many perspectives that you've experienced in your lifetime? Like how many frames?
In my lifetime, up to what age?
42.
Oh, all right. 5,247.
That's how many perspectives?
Yes.
So it's not, we don't have a different perspective ever billions of times per second?
You do, but we assume that when you use the term perspective, you are still talking about something that lasts for some duration in linear time so that you are aware of the fact that there is a different perspective.
Oh.
Because even though the perspective shifts billions of times per second, you're not necessarily completely conscious or aware of that. You experience it only as a smooth continuity expressed as time.
Okay, I see. And how many have I experienced?
At 42?
Yes.
About 2,457.
Okay.
Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, you're able to experience.
You understand that you can't actually compare the two. Because it depends upon your process, your theme of exploration, as to how many times you choose to do that. One has absolutely nothing to do with the other, because our processes are different.
Oh, okay.
Yes?
Yes.
All right. So it's not a measuring device.
Okay. Well, some of those frames that we can't sense, are they like having physical contact with extraterrestrials? Me? Like the ones that I can't sense?
Yes. In some cases, yes.
So like right now, I could just be missing it, like, but we're actually having physical contact.
Well, we would assume that in this conversation, you wouldn't feel like anything is missing, since you're having contact right now.
Yeah, I know, but I mean with a physical form in a way, like of you.
Of us specifically?
Or any type of extraterrestrial.
What is it you're asking?
Like, are we actually, like, right now having physical contact with an extraterrestrial?
Some version of you is, yeah.
Okay. We just can't sense that right now.
Correct, because it's not part of your process right now to do so.
Okay. I have one last question.
Yes.
I have had a lot of powerful dreams where I would be playing music and sleeping.
Yes.
And that wasn't in the dream. I was actually playing music and sleeping with the music on.
Oh, yes.
And I also used to be able to make my son laugh when he was asleep, when he was young.
Yes.
Like just by kind of tickling him and talking to him in a voice.
Yes.
And I was just wondering if you could explain the mechanics of that, so we're still connected somehow to our physical reality when we're sleeping.
Well, of course you are, otherwise you'd be dead.
Okay, so...
You always maintain that connection until you're done.
Mm-hmm. So even when we're asleep, is there any...
Yes, of course. Otherwise, again, you would be dead.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any suggestions on how...
How to die?
No. Like how I could become more...
lucid?
Yeah. I mean, to use that state of being, like to become
more lucid.
More in the closer to quasi-physical.
Well, closer to quasi-physical is a different thing to some degree. Although by following your passion, following the formula the best you can with no insistence on the outcome and remaining in a positive state no matter what happens so you can extract the positive benefit from whatever happens, is the way to accelerate your vibration, raise your frequency, become more aware, more lucid in the physical dream as well as perhaps in what you call the nighttime dream, and accelerate you as an evolutionary step towards becoming more quasi-physical in the same way that we are, although that won't necessarily be achieved by the society as a whole for many hundreds of years. But individuals can experience flashes of it now as part of their process of awakening, yes. But you can, again, just follow the formula and allow synchronicity to bring you what you need. And anytime you may find yourself hesitating to receive it, stop and use that moment and find out what belief systems within you might be working that are out of alignment with who you prefer to be, that are preventing you from experiencing what you may prefer to experience. Yes?
Yes.
Does this help?
Yes.
Pleasant dreams.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Good day. So, big, heavy talk today. And just for everyone in the room, how can we take the best possible actions to shift the energy back while maintaining a positive state and not going into lower states of fear or
Did I not just mention the formula?
follow your highest excitement?
What's the rest of it? I know that many of you remember the first part.
Take the action.
Act on it to the best you can
Yeah.
with,
No expectation.
well, not so much the idea of using the term expectation, though we understand it can be that, but more specifically, no insistence or assumption as to what the outcome is supposed to be. And then remain in a positive state so you can extract the benefit from whatever manifests. Because even if what manifests is something you objectively don't prefer, you have to know from a positive point of view that it must be there for a reason. And if you know it's there for a reason, you will remain in a positive state and you will be able to extract a beneficial effect from having remained in that state. Whereas if you assume that it's an interruption or something is wrong because something didn't manifest the way you thought it should, then you will only experience the negative result of that thing having manifested. The idea is to know that everything can serve double duty. And again, even if you objectively, neutrally realize it's not something you prefer, knowing it's there for a reason will allow you to realize how you can use what you don't prefer in a way that you do. That is the formula to follow. Does that make sense?
Yes, and it's just always great to hear you say it again.
Because again, the idea of staying in that positive state really just comes down to realizing that if you don't, then you are telling yourself that there is more benefit in choosing something other than what you prefer. If that is the case,
That's not possible.
well, it is. You can choose something you don't prefer by having a belief that says you actually do prefer it. That's why you have to get in touch with what the belief is that would make you see something that is out of alignment with you seem to be more beneficial than what would actually be beneficial to you. That's why it's so crucial to get in touch and make conscious what those belief systems are. Yes? Mm-hmm. Once you discover what that belief could possibly be, you will see the illogic in it. You will see the nonsense in it. And once you see that, then that belief is gone. Mm-hmm. But you have to know what it is. Otherwise, if it remains unconscious, it will simply keep triggering you to believe that choosing things that are not to your benefit are actually to your benefit. Or vice versa, that things that are to your benefit, it would make you believe that they're not. At least not as much as what it is getting you to believe you should choose. This is called the motivational mechanism. Yes?
Yes.
Does this make sense?
Yes.
So, does that answer your question?
Yes. So follow the formula and vote 1 month before, guys. All right. And for other viewers. Okay.
Up to you.
Yes. Suggested.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Next question. What's my average? When we did a private session, I asked you about what's my average vibrational rate range. Can you give me that? And what?
Right now?
Let's go with the 3-day average range.
A 3-day average of 3 days you haven't experienced yet?
Yeah, the previous 72 hours.
Oh, previous.
Average 25th to 75th percentile range. Yeah.
About 158 to 165,000.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, it dropped. Okay.
You know why it dropped?
I don't. Could you?
Because you asked for it.
I did.
Because why do you need to know? If you are following your passion, just follow your passion. You don't need to keep measuring your vibrational rate. You will know that if you're following your passion, following the formula, following the instruction manual as precisely as you can, you will maintain the highest possible vibration at that moment, but also understand that sometimes the vibration needs to fluctuate because different states require different frequencies for you to accomplish certain things.
You don't always stay up here. Sometimes you have to lower your vibration to use what you learned up here in a more applicable way down here. But again, as we have said, it's not necessarily about looking at the idea like this. I'm up, I'm down, I'm up, I'm down, I'm up, I'm down. The idea is to look at it like this. I'm up, I'm down, but I'm higher than before. I'm up, I'm down, but I'm higher than before. I'm up, I'm down, but I'm higher than before. So that you're constantly climbing even while you're fluctuating up and down, because it might be necessary for you to do so, to do the things you need to do in physical reality. That's a different way to look at it. Yes?
Yes.
So, by thinking that you are lower than you should be or lower than you were, you're sort of looking at the concept in a more negative way, which lowers the vibration.
Got it.
Yes?
Just know that I am always doing the best I can.
Just know that you are always exactly where you need to be. And if you find out that you're not where you prefer to be, then simply keep acting on your passion and it will correct the idea of the vibration and raise it accordingly.
Got it.
Yes? Does that help?
That helps.
All right.
Next.
Will that do?
One more question.
Oh, all right.
All right. So I had this really interesting, highest excitement idea this morning.
Yes.
And I like to get your point on that.
Oh, all right.
I recently bought these energy, 0 point energy machines that are just wonderful. I don't know how I can describe that to you even better.
Oh, all right, if you say so. What do they look like?
It's like a tower. It's got some Tesla stuff and it's
A tower, some Tesla
life
stuff.
machine, and another one it's called the Miracle iCube. So
What makes you certain that they are 0 point energy machines?
that's what the founder told me. Are they, from your perspective? No? Okay.
However,
Are they beneficial for me?
they can be, if for nothing else, they can certainly function as permission slips to allow you to tap into your 0 point energy connection more strongly by using them as permission slips.
Mm-hmm.
But they themselves are not designed to specifically be 0 point energy transformers. They do tap into 0 point energy to some degree, but not necessarily in the way that you might think, and not necessarily in a way that can be immediately applied in your physical reality.
Okay. But, okay.
Yes?
So my idea was I can send that energy to people
Yes.
that needs it and who want an energetic...
Who wish to accept it by matching the frequency and making their own energy be that same vibration. Yes.
who would like to accept it by matching their frequency to
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And also who are matching the energetic frequency of sending me dollars
Why only dollars?
and other forms of abundance. But let's just play. Let's go with dollars.
All right, let's go with dollars.
Yeah. And then so it becomes like a money generating machine.
I see.
Yeah. And then I just make sure, set the intention,
Yes.
and collect dollars to show up in the best way possible.
Okay.
And is that permission slip, is that true as I'm living into that as a knowing that's true for me?
Since you had to ask, the answer is no.
Okay, so I will not ask that.
Too late. Too late. But again, you might benefit from relaxing your insistence that abundance has to come that way. For you to recognize,
You mean in the form of money?
yes,
Okay.
because it might, but does it have to? As long as you are supported in some way, shape, or form that allows you to continue to act on your excitement to the best you can, why do you care what form it comes in? That's the real question. As long as it does what you need it to do, why do you care how it looks? So it's all well and good to do the exercise. But when you narrow it down too specifically, you might actually be short-circuiting your own permission slip. Why not let it be broad and bring you abundance in any form that it can? Why so narrow a field?
Got it.
Yes? If you can answer that question for yourself, you will have a greater understanding of what belief systems you have.
I have a belief that is not, I'm believing in something that is not for my highest good. That is something that I don't know the exact belief right now, but I will work on that.
All right. And again, you might also ask yourself if you are simply doing this as a means to an end instead of something that is actually representative of your passion. Because many times people will say that they'll focus on things like money, thinking that that's just the way to get them to be able to do their passion, instead of focusing on the passion and letting the passion bring the money or whatever form of abundance will allow the passion to continue. If you're only focusing on a means to an end and it's not really your passion, then it's not necessarily going to work the way you intended because you're working it backwards. Passion contains everything you need. It is a complete kit, leaves nothing relevant out. So if money is necessary, it will come. If gifts are necessary, it will come. If an opportunity to trade is necessary, it will come. If what you need comes in the form of synchronicity, it will come. If your imagination gets inspired and opened up, it will come, because those are all forms of abundance. But letting the machine work in the way it was designed, instead of focusing on the idea of the minutia of the mechanisms within it, as if that's going to make it work better, is not really a deep understanding of how things work. Does that make sense?
I'm focusing on the weeds and not trusting versus stepping back.
Well, you're trusting something, but you're putting your trust in the components of the machine instead of simply the output of the machine. Because it's not really necessary for you to understand all the components, in much the same way that it's not really necessary for you to understand how an automobile on your planet works for you to get into the seat and drive it. You're focused on the output. When you go to your car, it's just, this is going to take me somewhere. You don't go, well, let's see, I'm going to stand here, and first I'm going to figure out how the drive shaft is connected to the engine, and how the spark plugs work, and how all these different pistons go up and down, and what kind of fuel they're burning, and I'm going to make the car work by understanding all of that. It's all well and good to have an understanding of the mechanism if your passion is to work on cars. But if it's not really, and the idea of your passion is just to get where you want to go, then just get in the car and go. That's the difference.
It seems, and I hope it's not just me, that there's that something not 100% in the trust of following the formula.
All right, I understand. We understand very simply, very clearly, that it might be challenging for many of you to understand what it is we're saying, that the formula really is actually literally a description of how reality works. It is literally an instruction manual. But it's up to you to understand that it works that way, because if you don't understand it, it'll still work, but it may not work to your advantage.
Right, and I'm trying to align my understanding to that.
Yes.
Through knowledge and through...
That's fine.
And through some kind of experiments to...
All right, that's fine
gather...
too. That's fine too. But the experiment needs to be designed for the result you prefer.
Not setting yourself up.
Correct.
Okay, because you're always getting what you believe in.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
One last one.
Oh, another last one.
Yeah, really, really last one.
Really, really last one. All right, well, we'll see.
Last time we talked, I asked you, what is my role in this hybridization agenda? And he's like, you probably don't want to know. If it's still in my highest good not to know, please don't say anything. If it is in my highest good to know, can you tell me what it is?
Bye-bye.
All right, I'll take that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about and exercise another technique for breaking patterns, for shattering expectations and old ideas. Each and every one of you already knows that you are, you, the total you, is a number of complex personalities, that you can be any personality you want at any given moment, and that, as we have discussed before, when you change the personality, by changing the belief, by changing the emotion, by changing the thought patterns, that you are literally becoming a different person. Well, we can use this to break yourself out of old cycles. And it will help you to take this statement even more literally than you may have in the past, to begin to truly play out these different personas that you can create yourself to be. So, for example, if you find that you are doing something that you feel is a repetition, allow yourself to call upon one of the unlimited aspects, one of the unlimited personalities that you are. Become, act like that new persona, and approach the situation as that new person would. You may immediately find that the new persona isn't even able to relate to the so-called problem or habit or pattern that the other persona used to experience. And we are talking about a very big shift, and it is a real shift. And you can examine and explore whether or not you wish to continue from that point forward to incorporate aspects of the new persona instead of the persona that had the habit. Oh, well, Bashar, isn't that cheating? Isn't that just ignoring the problem? Isn't that avoiding the issue? Doesn't have to be. Depends on how you go about it. Depends on what you put into it. Depends on how you understand it, how you utilize it. Yes, if you are saying that changing personalities is a way to simply avoid looking at something about yourself that really needs looking at, if you are not facing your fear by pretending it's no longer there, when in fact it is something that would be most constructive for you to face, then by all means you are not doing what we are now alluding to. However, what we are saying is that you can use and understand these other personalities as real people. Real people. Every bit as real as the personality you are exhibiting now. Because the personality you are exhibiting now is only your construction, is only your projection, and it only serves to express the notion that your consciousness chooses to be at any given moment. If you can create a true paradigm shift and really allow yourself to be another persona, and know that you are not just running away from something that you need to look at about yourself, then you can literally unlock yourself from a pattern that another persona exhibited. Because you are no longer that person, literally. No matter how you think you look in the mirror, doesn't matter. You are no longer the person you used to be. So, let us practice this technique now. I would like a volunteer. One volunteer. All right. All right. Sit down. And now stand up. And now, or what? All three. But come forward. All right. Now, allow yourself to name any situation at all in your life that represents a pattern to you that you would like to change. Name it out loud.
I would like to change the pattern of worrying about
I would like to change the pattern of worrying about finances. All right. Now, the persona that said that is one persona. Stay as that persona for a moment. Stay as that persona. Stay where you are. Stay as that persona. Are you still that persona? All right. Do you still feel that persona's habitual worry about finances? Yes? You should if you are still that persona. You have already changed? All right. What have you changed into? All right. You are making a change in that direction. However, we are going to now begin to institute in you and to show others that the kind of changes we're talking about are far more drastic than what you are exhibiting now. All right? All right. Now, let's use your imagination at this moment. Conjure up a personality, a persona that is, in your imagination, abundant, fully abundant, has absolutely no concept of lack of abundance, does not think about the time when they were not abundant because no such time has ever existed in their life. This is not a before and after personality. This persona in your imagination is a personality that is abundant, always has been abundant, and has absolutely no notion of being anything but abundant. Has no way to relate to the concept of lack of abundance. Have you conjured that personality up in your imagination? Yes. All right. Now, can you describe the difference, the primary differences in feeling between the old personality that was still focused on lack of abundance and this new personality that knows nothing but abundance? Can you, for us, give a description of the difference in the feeling between those two personalities? Feeling and restriction and worry and anxiety and ill health, all these feelings, all right, and unbalance. And the abundant persona, how does that persona feel? Radiant, glowing. All right, you had to check there, you weren't sure. All right, exuberantly happy, self-fulfilled, creative. Absolutely wonderful. All right, now, let's focus on that second set of feelings. Imagine feeling radiant. Feel radiant for a moment. Just focus on the idea of feeling radiant. Can you feel that? Feel it, feel it, feel it. Feel it as strongly as you can, all of you. Feel radiant as strongly as you can. Just feel radiance. Just for a moment. Just feel that. Just radiance. Breathe in accord. Pay close attention to all the changes that occur in your physical body as you are feeling radiance. Pay attention to your posture, how it changes, how your breathing changes, how your temperature changes, how your outlook and attitude changes. Pay attention to all these differences. Feel them. Revel in them. Try them on. Stretch into them. Open up to more. Feel yourself becoming more expansive, willing to experience more. As you radiate more, you will be willing to open up to experience more. Feel yourself expanding. Are you beginning to feel like you're expanding to the point where you almost can't contain the feeling? All right. The laugh is the correct response. Yes. All right. Very good. Now take a deep breath. Let it out. Relax. All right. Now, what else? What other feeling did you say you had when you were the abundant personality? Self-fulfill. All right? Feel that. Focus on self-fulfillment. Contentment. Self-fulfillment. Always knowing. Always knowing. Not thinking about it. Knowing. Without a doubt. Without a sliver of a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are always doing the thing that is best for you, the thing that excites you the most, the thing that is truest for you, that you are fulfilled, knowing that you will always feel fulfilled every single moment, that there is no other way you can feel. Feel that. Feel that now. Feel nothing but that. Revel in that. Revel in it. Feel self-fulfilled, confident, assured, strong, powerful, expressive, enlightened, open, sharing, trusting, loving, unconditionally, creative, active, healthy, buoyant, girlant, all those things. Yes, light enough to laugh, self-fulfilled, grounded, anchored, and yet light, exuberant, knowing. Notice that it is not the same thing as egotistical. Because some of you allowed the idea of a comparison of ego to come into it, just so you could check, just to make sure that you are not being selfish, not being egotistical. It is not the same thing. Confidence, knowingness, self-assuredness. You are fulfilled. You reach out and whatever you need is there. Always, without fail. There is no such concept as something not being there when you need it. You are completely fulfilled. Are you feeling these things still? Yes. All right. Now, I want you to do something for a moment. I want you now, for a moment, to go back to the personality that has the doubts, that feels the lack of abundance, that has the worries, that has the fears, that feels the patterns, the entrapment, and the diminishment. Do you feel that? All right. All right. Can you feel how different that is between the way you want to feel? All right. Let that feeling of worry, of doubt, let that feeling become foreign, alien, not you. See how different that is. Once you have been given a taste of fulfillment, a taste of radiance, understand how unlike you, the real you, that worrisome personality actually is. That the radiant you is the real you, the true you, the natural you, and that the worried you is the foreign you, the not you, the learned you, the artificial you. Now, just for the purpose of demonstration, well, all right. We thank you very much. You may sit down. We request another volunteer. Thank you. You may continue this in your seat. Another volunteer. All right. Get back in the seat of the person who is coming up. The person who left, sit in the seat of the person who is coming up. All right. The next volunteer. Now, have you been feeling what we've already been talking about? All right. All right. Stand up, come forward. All right. Occupy the place the last person occupied. Now, standing. You're sorry? That must be the old you. All right. Does that feel good? All right, then that's where it is. That's your space. That's your spot. All right. That's the new you. Now, you are still feeling those aspects of radiance and self-fulfillment? Yes? Are you sure? Yes. All right, thank you. Just checking. Now, name a pattern that the old you had that you are changing now. Is it getting more difficult to find one? All right, very good. Now do this. Pick up one foot and plant it firmly on the ground, and the other foot and plant it firmly on the ground. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You are now on a journey. You are now walking, taking your steps confidently. All of you, back and forth. Walk, walk, stand or sit, but walk, walk. Journey, journey. You are now moving through life. Moving through the life that you chose, beat by beat by beat. Not too fast, not too slow, just moving confidently. Striding ahead. 1, 2, 1, 2. Rowing your oars. 1, 2, 1, 2. Bring back some past life memories, does it? 1, 2, 1, 2. Keep walking. 1, 2. You are striding ahead. 1, 2. Feeling the warrior spirit. Feeling the journeying spirit. The wandering monk. Traveling through life. Looking, beholding, absorbing, taking it all in, yet moving, always moving, yet at such a pace that you are also always rested, always at peace, delighting in everything that you see, delighting in every encounter. But things always move. It is always fresh, always new. Understand and allow to be a portion of the idea that you are from this moment forward, that every step is a new you, a new moment, and that the notion of habit, the notion of pattern, has nowhere to anchor. One step may have a habit, but with the very next step, you're a new you. So where can the habit rest? Nowhere. There is nowhere for the habit to settle in, because you are always moving ahead, always moving forward, creating a new now, always creating yourself anew, feeling this persona, that persona, this persona, that persona, new, every second, new earth, everything around you, new, habit gone, gone. New habit, gone. New habit, gone. New habit, gone. Every step might contain a habit. But with the very next step, it's gone, 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 gone. Because you're moving, 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 moving. Never static. Always, always creating anew. Flowing, flowing. Now keep walking. Now with this. Allow your imagination the following series of pictures. See yourself, man, woman, man, woman. See yourself as a man, a woman, a man, a woman, a man, a woman, a man, a woman, a boy, a girl, a boy, a girl, a boy, a girl, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. See yourself as a rock, a tree, a fish, a cloud, the sky, the earth, a stream. See yourself changing, 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 changing. Never the same thing twice. Never, 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 never the same thing twice. A butterfly here, a butterfly there is never the same butterfly. Always there will be a slight difference to let you know that you are always different. Never really in a habit. Never really in a pattern. Can you keep up the pace even though I am not keeping cadence with my voice? All right, come on. 1, 2, 1, 2. But that's a pattern, isn't it? All right, all right. You may stop. All right. Now, do this. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. 1, 1. 1, 2, 1, 3. 1. No, no, no. 3. All right. Just to break it up a little bit. Now, how are you feeling? All right. And who are you? And what is that new person? Empowered. All right. Now, one more volunteer. All right. Take the seat of the person coming up.
How can I then change myself to change the perception I'm having of the people around me, and specifically the ones I'm having quote-unquote negative experiences with?
All right. First of all, you start by not labeling anything in your reality as negative, because if you do, all you're doing is agreeing with them and perpetuating that idea for yourself, are you not?
Yes.
Well, then if someone does something that you perceive as happening in your reality or is directed at you, knowing what we just said in that you are creating your version of them, you must be somewhere within your own consciousness in agreement with that idea in order to perceive it that way. Now, we understand you have the ability to observe in a neutral sense, in an objective sense, so to speak, that someone can be being negative even if you're not. But the point is you don't take it to heart if you know it has nothing to do with you. The only reason you would feel affected by it is if you agree that it does. You see?
Okay, well, I want to take it once.
Oh, one moment. Not done yet.
Okay.
Want to illustrate a little point, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
Thank you. What is your favorite color?
Blue.
All right. Now, if you were wearing something blue and someone came up to you and said, I hate red, and I hate what you're wearing, you go, what? That makes no sense. Oh, it must have nothing to do with me. Oh, you must be crazy. You must be talking about someone else. You wouldn't be affected by it because it wouldn't make sense to you. You understand?
Yes.
You would have no real emotional reaction to it. The idea, therefore, is that when you feel the emotional reaction of someone's supposed attack, what you're doing is getting them, your version of them, to reflect to you that some portion of yourself feels that way about yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't react. You would just observe it. Oh, interesting. And move on with your day. But if you react to it, it's showing you, hey, some part of you actually is buying into this as true. So what do you want to do about it? So you say, well, thank you. Thank you for showing that I was not loving all of myself. And when you really start doing that, then you may start to see that someone else's attitude toward you may change, because what you've done is you've changed your version of them and your reality to be more reflective of the fact that you're now loving yourself more wholly. Make sense? The real being may still be going off and insulting everybody, but the only version of them you'll get is the version you've created that is now reflective of the love you're willing to give to yourself, that you weren't willing to give to yourself before. Is this starting to make sense? Do you see what kind of a shadow play this is?
Yes, it's very subtle, especially if you're in the room with somebody.
Yes.
And you're not...
Especially if you imagine you're in the room with somebody.
Remember,
it's not real. It's not real. It's your reality experience. It's not empirically real. It's just a symbol of the reality you are creating yourself to be, of your experience of yourself. So just because it looks like someone else is in the room with you, they're not. They're in their own room, maybe with their version of you. So the question is, what do you prefer to be going on in your room? Because you're the only one in it. Regardless of what it looks like, you're the only one in it. Are you familiar with what you call a fictional drama on your planet called Star Trek?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the device that they call the holodeck?
Yes.
Are you understanding that all of the other people are just holograms?
I understand that intellectually.
I just love that line. It is, no offense, no judgment, it's the ultimate cop-out.
It is.
I understand it intellectually is actually another way of saying I'm not sure I want to get too close to really knowing what you're saying here. It's pushing the idea away. Because you actually do know exactly what I'm saying. Deep in your heart, deep in your soul. It's just that you've been taught to be afraid to look at it too closely.
Afraid to look at the concept or the actual experience of holograms?
Because you see, this is what you're dealing with. This is what most of you deal with when you're in this kind of situation. You're afraid to look too closely at dealing with this because what you've been taught to fear is that what you think these other people are saying about you might actually be true. And oh no, how horrible would that be? You follow me? If you look too deeply, you're afraid it might actually be true. And then where will you be? But I'm telling you, it never will be true. Only what you decide is true for you is true. Is this making some sense?
Yes.
Intellectually?
I appreciate the reminder.
Oh, all right. Now, where do you want to go with this from here?
I want to go from here because in preparation for coming to this event, I had communicated to you telepathically and asked you to help me discover my blocks from living my fullest potential.
And what am I doing?
Well, no, last night you came to me in my dreams.
Yes.
And I wanted to know what we were doing.
This?
We were doing this.
More of this?
More of this work.
Yes.
Okay, so can you specifically illuminate for me my soul's agreement and purpose in life?
Obviously, this is one of the things you have decided to learn, your self-worth, in the face of opposing opinions. Are you going to believe in the truth that is you, or are you going to believe in someone else's truth that has nothing to do with you? Which do you prefer?
I believe in my truth.
All right. Then you can continue to choose to do so. And anytime you find yourself feeling fearful about what someone else is saying about you or reacting to someone else's communication at you, understand that's another opportunity to feel your self-worth and believe in yourself, and understand that many times when someone comes up to you and says something that seems like an attack on you, what they're actually telling you is they have the same fear. And they're just projecting it on you to give you an opportunity to decide whether it's true for you. And what you can then do is be big enough to hold a space to allow them to find out whether it really needs to continue to be true for them, by loving them back for showing you an opportunity to love yourself more. You see?
Yes, thank you very much.
Is this helping?
Oh, absolutely. Thank
All right.
you. Thank you.
We'll talk some more.
Thank you. See you in my dreams.
Yes, that's what I meant.